The Stoneman murders. Full details of a chilling, unsolved mystery. Stoneman murders are among India's most notorious unsolved crimes, spanning from 1985 to 1989. The case involves a series of brutal killings in Mumbai and Kolkata. The unidentified killer, dubbed Stoneman, targeted homeless individuals, bludgeoning them to death with heavy stones while they slept on the streets. Despite intense police investigations, the murderer's identity remains a mystery, leaving behind an enduring legacy of fear and unanswered questions. The beginning of the killings. Mumbai 1985 to 1988. The first set of murders occurred in Mumbai, where 12 pavement dwellers were killed over 3 years. The killer struck at night, targeting homeless individuals sleeping in isolated or poorly lit areas. Each victim was killed by a single, forceful blow to the head with a heavy stone, crushing their skulls. The randomness of the murders and the lack of an apparent motive made it challenging for the police to predict the killer's next move. The victims were typically men who had no significant possessions, suggesting that robbery was not the motive. The precision of the killings led some investigators to believe the perpetrator was physically strong and possibly accustomed to manual labor. Despite heightened patrolling in vulnerable areas, the murders continued unabated until 1988, when they mysteriously stopped in Mumbai. The Kolkata Connection 1989. In 1989, the killings resumed in Kolkata, where at least 13 more homeless individuals were found murdered in the same manner. The similarities between the crimes in Kolkata and Mumbai, method, choice of victims, and timing led investigators to suspect that the same killer had moved between the cities. The Kolkata murders occurred over 6 months, primarily in central and eastern parts of the city. Victims were again targeted while sleeping on pavements or near railway tracks. Public fear intensified, with many homeless people avoiding sleeping outdoors. However, the killer's attacks remained unpredictable, and he evaded capture despite increased surveillance. Police investigations. The police in both Mumbai and Kolkata launched extensive investigations to identify and apprehend the killer. 1. Pattern recognition. Both forces recognized the consistent method of killing, a single, fatal blow with a large stone. Victims were all homeless individuals, typically middle-aged men. There were no signs of robbery, ruling out theft as a motive. 2. Surveillance efforts. In Kolkata, plainclothes officers patrolled vulnerable areas, hoping to catch the killer in the act. Mumbai police detained several suspects, including laborers and vagrants, but none could be conclusively linked to the murders. 3. Challenges faced. The simplicity of the weapon, a large stone, meant there was no forensic evidence to trace. Lack of eyewitnesses made it difficult to gather leads. The victim's marginalized status delayed public attention and resources for the investigation. 4. Suspect profiling. Psychologists speculated that the killer might have been mentally unstable, possibly motivated by deep-seated hatred or trauma. Some investigators believe the perpetrator could be someone living among the homeless, blending in unnoticed. Evidence and breakthroughs. Extensive efforts. The police struggled to gather concrete evidence. 1. Physical evidence. Heavy stones used as murder weapons were often discarded at the crime scenes. These stones bore no fingerprints or identifiable marks, making them useless for forensic analysis. 2. Witness accounts. In some cases, other homeless individuals reported hearing noises or seeing suspicious figures, but descriptions were vague and inconsistent. 3. Link between cities. The striking similarities between the Mumbai and Kolkata murders suggested the possibility of a single perpetrator operating across cities, but this was never conclusively proven. Court and legal discussions. No suspect was ever formally charged or brought to trial for the Stoneman murders. While multiple individuals were detained for questioning, the lack of evidence prevented any legal proceedings. 1. Mumbai police efforts. Arrests were made based on circumstantial evidence, but none led to a conviction. Public pressure to solve the case highlighted the limitations of the investigative tools available at the time. 2. Kolkata's response. The Kolkata police faced significant criticism for failing to prevent the murders despite increased patrolling. The case remained open for years, with periodic reviews yielding no new insights. Theories and speculation. Several theories emerged about the identity and motive of the Stoneman. 1. A serial killer with trauma. Some experts believe the perpetrator might have suffered a traumatic experience, leading to a hatred for the homeless. 2. Mentally unstable individual. The randomness and brutality of the crime suggested the killer might have been mentally unstable. 3. Multiple killers. Given the lack of definitive evidence connecting the Mumbai and Kolkata murders, some speculated that the crimes could have been committed by different individuals using similar methods. Legacy and impact. Stoneman murders remain one of India's most chilling unsolved mysteries. The case highlighted the vulnerability of homeless populations and the challenges faced by law enforcement in solving crimes against marginalized victims. It also underscored the limitations of forensic technology and investigative practices during the 1980s. While the killings stopped abruptly in Kolkata after 1989, the fear and speculation surrounding the Stoneman have persisted for decades. The case has inspired numerous books, films, and discussions, cementing its place in the annals of Indian crime history as a haunting reminder of justice left unserved. This detailed account can provide a gripping narrative for any format, presenting the case's complexity, the challenges faced by law enforcement, and the chilling mystery surrounding the Stoneman's identity. Psychological traits. Opportunistic predator. The randomness of the killings indicates a lack of personal connection to the victims. Sadism. The use of heavy stones to kill victims reflects a desire for brutal domination. Potential mental illness. The absence of a clear motive suggests possible psychosis or deep-seated emotional disturbances. Motivation. The Stoneman's crimes appear driven by a pathological compulsion, possibly rooted in a need to assert control or release internal rage. Let's subscribe the channel to see more homicide case and press the bell button. Thank you for watching us.